In the small town of Maplewood, Colorado, there lived a hardworking man named Jack Reynolds. He was a dedicated rancher, known for his honesty and determination. Despite his efforts, life never seemed to go his way. Droughts dried up his pastures, harsh winters threatened his cattle, and financial struggles weighed heavily on his shoulders. Yet, through every challenge, Jack held on to one belief: everything happens for a reason. One summer, disaster struck. A massive wildfire swept through the valley, destroying thousands of acres including Jack's ranch. His barn was burned to the ground, his livestock scattered, and years of hard work reduced to ashes. Heartbroken, Jack watched helplessly as firefighters battled the flames. The fire was beyond his control, and all he could do was hope for the best. When the fire finally died down, his land was charred black, and he was left with nothing but loss. Neighbors encouraged him to sell what was left and move on. "Jack, maybe this is a sign to start fresh somewhere else," they said. But Jack refused to leave. This land had been in his family for generations. He couldn't give up on it now. One evening, Jack sat on a broken fence post, staring at the burnt remains of his ranch. An old family friend, Mr. Lawson, approached him. He was a retired cowboy, known for his wisdom and stories of resilience. "You look like a man carrying the weight of the world," Mr. Lawson said, sitting beside him. Jack sighed. "I just don't understand. I worked so hard, and in a single day, it's all gone. What did I do to deserve this?" The old cowboy smiled and said, "Let me tell you a story. There once was a lumberjack named Henry who lived deep in the Montana woods. He spent every day chopping trees, stacking logs, and selling firewood to make a living. One day, a terrible storm swept through the forest. Strong winds knocked down trees, and lightning set the woods on fire. When Henry saw the damage, he was devastated. "Everything I worked for is gone," he thought. But as he walked through the burned forest, he noticed something surprising. The fire had exposed a hidden path leading to a rich vein of gold beneath the soil. Had the storm never happened, he would have never found the treasure beneath his land. That storm, which he thought was his worst nightmare, was actually his greatest blessing. Jack listened closely, his mind beginning to shift. "Are you saying this fire was a blessing in disguise?" he asked. Mr. Lawson nodded. "Sometimes, life takes away things to make room for something greater. You may not see it now, but give it time. The reason will reveal itself." Jack didn't have all the answers, but he felt a spark of hope. Instead of giving up, he decided to rebuild. With determination, Jack began working the land again. While clearing the burnt remains of his ranch, he made a surprising discovery: the fire had exposed a natural spring beneath his property. Excited, Jack brought in experts who confirmed that the water was pure and abundant. It was enough to irrigate not only his ranch but also neighboring farms. What once seemed like total destruction had led to something incredible. Jack used the water source to restore his land. He replanted his pastures, rebuilt his barn, and even helped other ranchers revive their land. Years later, as Jack stood by his thriving ranch, he thought back to that devastating summer. What once felt like the end of everything had actually been a new beginning. Smiling, he whispered to himself, "Everything happens for a reason. Life has a way of throwing unexpected challenges our way. At times, it may feel like everything is falling apart, but sometimes, those setbacks are actually leading us to something better." Just like Jack found water beneath the ashes and the lumberjack discovered gold after the storm, our greatest struggles often reveal hidden opportunities. So the next time life feels unfair, take a deep breath and remember, everything happens for a reason.